It's great to be back for another edition of Talking Ball, and today I'm going to be discussing Denzel Valentine's NBA draft prospects. But before I do, I just want to remind you guys about our 50 videos in 50-day challenge. If you haven't, hit that subscribe button so you can get all the latest content that we are going to produce in those 50 days. Now, Denzel Valentine, some stats on him. Last year, he averaged 19 points, 8 assists, and 7.5 rebounds, while shooting 44% from the three-point territory, 46% from the field, and 85% from the free throw line. Now, while he was able to keep up those efficiencies, his turnovers were around 3 a game, as he was tasked with really doing a lot of the playmaking for that offense. Valentine as a player, he's really good at a couple of things. First off is obviously his overall box score mentality. So he's going to impact the box score in a number of ways. As I said, 19 points, 8 assists, and 7.5 rebounds is nothing to scoff at. That means he's impacting the game in tons of areas. He's a great passer. He knows how to find the open man off pick and roll. He was used really as the point guard there, even though he is 6'5", 220 pounds. He is rather long with a 6'10" wingspan, so that ability should translate to him becoming a better defender in the NBA than he was in college. I think that has more to do with his effort level on the defensive end than anything else. I think that's something that he's going to have to really improve on, as his ceiling, in my estimates, is going to be a high-level role player. That's something that he's going to be. That's a very valuable thing to have in the NBA. If you're going to win championships, you need those types of players. I mean, Sean Livingston, Andre Iguodala were keys to Golden State Warriors' run last season. It'd be a crime if I were to call Draymond Green a high-level role player at this point, but a few years ago, that's what he was coming out of Michigan State. I think that's what Denzel Valentine slots into, and I think he's going to be able to do that while playing two positions, point guard at times and shooting guard, maybe even shifting down to small forward in smaller lineups. He's going to be able to have a good impact because he can shoot the three, which is something that not all NBA prospects come out with. You know, a lot of these one-and-done guys, they're coming out with a lot more athletic prowess than a Denzel Valentine, but they aren't as polished. They can't shoot the ball yet, and that's why he's going to make an immediate impact, in my estimates, in his first season in the NBA. He's being... he's going to be able to shoot it, and he's going to be able to make smart decisions with the basketball. I do think that if you're asking him to, average more than 5 assists a game, that's not going to happen anymore. I think in the NBA, he's going to be more of your third decision maker, or maybe even fourth decision maker on the court at times. So maybe at the peak of his, career, he'll be averaging 3 to 4 assists a game, more likely 3 assists, I would say. Just because he's gonna be more asked with shooting it right away or making a dribble or a quick pass, and that's why his assist numbers will be in that area. So for me, I think off the bench, this guy could be a great addition and have a Ginobili-like impact off the bench. He isn't a Ginobili-like player, but what I mean by that is I could see him averaging, around 11 points, 5 rebounds, and 3 assists off the bench at kind of the peak there of his career. And that'd be a great player to have on any NBA team, who's going to be an efficient three-point shooter, make smart decisions, and I think he'll be able to develop into a good defender. I couldn't find really a specific player that I found that their game really matched up well. So there are 3 guys that I found that are currently in the league that I think kind of make up the type of player that Valentine will be, and they are Evan Turner, Tyreek Evans, and Wes Matthews. I see parts of his game in each of those guys. The first two can play point guard, shooting guard, and small forward. They're around the same size as Valentine, 6'5", or Evan Turner's a little bit taller. I think he's around 6'6", 6'7", but he can play point guard and shooting guard. The only difference between those two guys and Valentine is Valentine can shoot it, but I do think those two guys are a little bit of better drivers. Wes Matthews, I think, is a better passer than people give him credit for, which is why I make the comparison, even though his assist numbers aren't high. But like I said, I see that's where Valentine will trend towards in the NBA. Lower assist numbers, and I think his shooting ability makes them comparable. And I wouldn't be surprised to see Valentine really develop his three-point game even more in the NBA and be more of a concentrated three-point specialist. He's really a great shooter, and that's something that he's really developed. You know, I remember watching him as a sophomore, and he was this really box and stat sheet stuffer, but he averaged 8 points and 6 rebounds and 4 assists then, but he couldn't shoot really well. And he's really improved that part of the game since then, and I really see that part really being a key in his NBA game as he steps forward into the league. So where do I see him going? Most mock drafts I've seen have him going with the 16th pick to the Celtics. Really, I could see any number of teams grabbing him, but that spot does make a ton of sense. They do need shooting on the Celtics, and he can provide that and playmaking. If I were Evan Turner and they drafted him, I would be concerned that they are not going to re-sign me. I could see him really going anywhere from maybe Chicago would like to take him to add to their bench. I wouldn't even be surprised if Toronto does that as well. You never know with DeRozan possibly leaving if they want to add someone with playmaking and shooting ability. He won't be a bad fit really on any team. Even Milwaukee at 10, I would, again, not be surprised. Also, don't be surprised again if he falls a little bit into the 20s just because he is a senior and teams may be looking for more upside plays. He doesn't have, it's not like there's a specific team that needs him. That's what will be working against him in the draft. But again, like I said, there isn't a team that wouldn't like to have him. Alright guys, so that's what I think about Denzel Valentine. I think he's going to be a high-level role player in the NBA. Let me know what you guys think in the comments below. Thanks for listening.